Yeah, we'll see how this goes. And mYiAbomb and A-Bomb going to be spawning here. In the bottom left spawn location, we have our red Protoss player, none other than TTE Sports mYiAbomb.
And his opponent spawning all the way across. It's a relatively small map, but the distance between the two bases are really, really long. It's mYiAbomb, our yellow Protoss player.
And as you said, it is a small map, but at the same time, with the distances being so long, this is a map that does encourage macro play more so than the last map that we saw. The last map was, of course, Core Hall City. And this is another map where it's relatively easy to grab an early expansion as well. Especially with that photon overcharge ability, so... A-Bomb is going to be very comfortable taking that early expansion unless he's planning some one-base shenaniganry. But we haven't seen that out of him at all thus far, so...
I would actually, like, whenever I've seen A-Bomb play PvP on this map, he does try and go for Stargate as just a macro unit composition, not as like a gimmicky one-base push or harassment, like Oracle harassment or anything. And the one thing we haven't seen yet this series is just that, Oracle harassment. White Raw's opened up Phoenix a couple times.
But you're right, Oracles and Void Rays as well, which is something that I was told to expect, and it's something we've seen a lot in PvP lately. Void Rays just so strong with that recent buff to them.
Yep.
And so those are the two things that we were expecting to see that we haven't seen yet. And just while there's a bit of downtime here, I just want to give a bit of a shout out to mYiNsanity is the sponsor of this show match. It's also the team for which A-Bomb and I play. Please do head over to their Facebook and give them a couple of likes. The management would very much like that, and that would show them that the numbers were good, and maybe they'll actually host some more events. Maybe we can see some more awesome show matches between, I don't know, awesome players and maybe not a PvP next time. Who knows? I'm so eloquent.
The second we get a macro game, it's all gonna be worth it though, because late game PvP has changed a lot.
No, I've actually really enjoyed these short games as well.
Yeah, me too.
The second game as well.
It's not the same.
Not to take anything away from the games that have been played so far, based on this gateway timing, just to jump back into the game for a second, looks like mYiAbomb does want to go for a 3-stalker rush potentially here.
Yeah.
Once again.
Hey man, if it ain't broke.
Fair point, fair point.
And A-Bomb is looking to go for another 1-gate expand, although he does have 3 probes on each geyser, which is something we have not seen from him yet in these early expansion plays. So I'm wondering if he's actually going to follow us up with a Stargate before adding additional gates in. This map definitely does play toward that.
Mothership Core is on the way, and this is something that we have also seen very consistently from A-Bomb, is that he likes to get the Mothership Core significantly earlier than mYiAbomb does. And it has helped occasionally, but it will be interesting to see whether he opts to be aggressive with it for once rather than just trying to survive here. And yeah, well, A-Bomb hasn't expanded yet, and we do see the Mothership Core moving across the map here towards the opponent's base. So it looks like both of the players want to be a little bit aggressive. We'll see how this pans out. 2 Stalkers, actually only 1 Stalker on a probe moving forward here for mYiAbomb, so that Stalker...
Oh, and this Stalker is in danger of dying.
It doesn't take any hull damage, so it will be okay. That 1 probe trying to move around the side, but it is not going to last long against the evil units of A-Bomb. Is he going to get it? He should get it. Oh man, he really wants to get that probe, and he will take it down. Sees the pylon as well. Bellet is going to go down, but a lot of hull damage taken on that Stalker that was really unnecessary. And A-Bomb knows about the pylon, but there's nothing he can do about it at this point. He needs more units. And there is a Stargate finishing up here for the yellow Protoss player, and what's he going to opt to build out of that? I would not be surprised to see Void Ray, and yes, it is going to be a Void Ray. He knows that there is Stalker aggression coming, and Void Rays are good against Stalkers now, guys.
Yeah, and he actually has a Mothership Core ravaging White Raw's mineral line right now, and there's not any units to be warped in here. Finally, we do have 2 units warped in the mineral line to try and take us out. Meanwhile, a huge engagement happening, or huge for this time of for this time of gameplay.
Oh, really nice play with the probes.
Yeah, that was a beautiful trap.
Take out another one of the Stalkers there. So nicely played. He will lose his Mothership Core, of course, in the main of mYiAbomb, but taking out 5 workers, not a bad trade there. Income-wise, A-Bomb is up by 3 workers. He does need to be careful, though, because the Nexus for mYiAbomb is going to be completing reasonably soon.
Yeah, and it is 4 Stalkers versus a single Void Ray, a Mothership Core, and a Stalker.
There are 2 more stalkers. No, there's 2 zealots and 4 stalkers at this point. So, with that 1 stalker really, really low on health, the void ray, with these 2 void rays, might just be able to chew through them on their own. Of course, the prismatic alignment ability just makes them so strong.
Yeah.
A-Bomb trying to expand. Units of mYiAbomb are going to come up and try to cancel that. He's got to be careful with this. He doesn't want to lose that.
This could actually be canceled here. The 2 void rays are coming down right now, but mYiAbomb looking to opt.
There's the charge. Utilized one of those stalkers just melts immediately. Of course, it was the one that was almost dead, but funny nonetheless. One of these zealots going to go down as well. These void rays having no mercy. And just continuing to chrono out void rays. So he's going pretty heavy on the void rays this time around. And his own expansion being a little bit behind isn't really going to be that detrimental to him because of the damage he was able to cause with the Mothership Core early on. And these void rays taking out another one of the stalkers very quickly.
And they weren't even charged in that engagement.
Void rays, man.
I just want to make that note.
PvP.
We do have a Stargate coming down from mYiAbomb at his expansion as well. Actually, 2 Stargates, so here we go. Looks like we will see this game evolving into the mid-game at least.
And A-Bomb adding on a 2nd Stargate as well, so...
It's an unwritten code, man.
We're gonna be seeing Sky Toss versus Sky Toss, something that I have been looking forward to this whole time, that we haven't seen just yet. Oracle on the way for Whiterun now. That's a bit of an interesting choice here, because he knows that there's air on the map, he knows there's anti-air, he knows that there's stalkers. I do find that a little bit interesting, but of course Oracles are incredibly fast, and void rays are pretty clunky and slow, so
yeah.
I do understand where he's going with this.
Is he going to double produce Oracles now?
I would assume he'd probably get only 2 or 3 of them
yeah.
at the most. Because the other cool thing about Oracles, look, he's only getting 1. And one of the things you can do is you can just hide the Oracle near your opponent's base, let it generate energy,
and then when it's out
with 150, 200 energy, if your opponent moves out, he can just go in and butcher the entire mineral line on his own.
We have air armor coming out here from mYiAbomb.
Something that A-Bomb has not started yet. He's going for attacks, though, just starting that now. So this has actually turned from a very different game into a very, very sort of mirrored game once again. A-Bomb down by 6 workers at this point due to the later expansion timing, but it's not even going to be that big a deal at this point because Whiterun's oversaturated at this point, so...
Yeah.
The players getting relatively even incomes. Actually, no, they're not. Whiterun getting so much more.
Because the Oracle of Whiterun was actually in A-Bomb's probe line. He had to evacuate his main probes for quite a few seconds there.
That minimap watching on my part.
It's even it had the added observer feature where you can just click on any unit on the map and it'll immediately bring you to that unit, which is awesome, by the way. Thank you, Blizzard.
And the structures as well. Blizzard has a lot of really awesome things here. Oh, the Oracle is going to get caught, and
yes, it does.
Go down. That's an expensive loss. It is, however, I'd say it's worth it for the 5 worker kills.
Yeah. It's difficult to say though. That impacted his void ray count slightly. He should be able to hold this, warping in a couple zealots now. I like that choice to tank for the ground units here, as there are a few sentries and a few zealots for A-Bomb in this timing.
The big thing here is that A-Bomb has 1 more void ray, but Whiterun's going to be up to 1 more void ray than A-Bomb once these 2 pop. So
yeah.
This is going to be very interesting to see how this actually works out. Both players are continuing to produce void rays, but Whiterun, being the defensive player, his void rays will be able to reinforce much quicker than A-Bombs, and as I said before, void rays do not move all that fast. So this could just be a nice little contain for A-Bomb as he tries to expand, but it doesn't look like he wants to at this point. He's cut worker production as well, so he's adding on 2 more gateways. His +1 finishes. Both of the players are going to be at +1 on their air. Whiterun having +1 armor and A-Bomb having +1 weapons.
Yeah. A-Bomb hasn't continued with his upgrade production though, and this is something that Whiterun is he chronoing this?
No, he's not.
Cybercore. I'm looking at the Forge and wondering why it's not researching. My god.
Alright, let's see how this actually goes. That is another 100 gas that's being invested into something that is not units here.
Oh wow. I love the fact that the sentries used hallucination on those 2 Colossus. They might actually get targeted by the void rays of his opponent.
And here we go, void ray versus void ray going on down. Zealots flashing at the front, Mothership Core in the battle as well. Void Ray count plummeting, though, for A-Bomb. The armor appearing to be much, much better than weapons upgrades here, and A-Bomb's attack gets destroyed.
The cannon actually caught wind of those Colossi, so White Raw immediately started focusing out the Void Rays, and will take himself up to a 3-1 lead in this best of 7.